Good day, YouTube. It is the 4th of June, 2022. Happy Saturday here in Oregon. It's raining today, so we're going to do some inside projects. A week ago or so, I picked up this 20-ton shop press from Harbor Freight. They had the Memorial Day sale and had some birthday cash and so forth. Did a quick video on it, actually, that I just posted. Putting this thing together and giving it a try. And then I went after some press accessories. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We're talking dimple dies. So Puddin's Fab Shop's favorite channel of mine on YouTube. He does a lot of fabrication. He's kind of a funny guy. I enjoy his channel. Every Monday he puts videos out. So shout out to Puddin's Fab Shop, but he does a lot of work punching holes and dimple dyeing brackets and sheet metal and so forth, and I really thought that'd be cool, so I picked up a set of dimple dies. So this is the 1.5 inch. It's kind of hard to show the set, but it's a set of 7. That's the one I have. From 1/2 inch to 2 inch. Yeah, 2 inch dimple dies. Got these on eBay, and after researching all of them, I really wanted ones that'll do, 10 gauge and so forth. They said these will actually do 1/8 inch mild steel, and they look very nice, very heavy duty. They were $200 shipped. Not going to put a link in. I don't know how long they'll actually be available, but they're made here in the US and seemed like pretty decent set of dimple dies, so I'm looking forward to taking on projects. We're going to walk in the milking room, and we're going to start another project today. And went to my local steel yard. If you haven't bought new steel here recently, you haven't got the sticker shock of what steel costs. And so I spent a good 45 minutes at the steel yard, the scrap metal place here in town where I live, Bertram's Metals. Fantastic place. I can almost always find what it is I need for a project out there if you look hard enough. And boy, I really had to turn it on this morning to find what I need. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what I'm going to build, and then we'll kind of start building, and I'll kind of bring you back and show you. I won't show you cutting and fitting and welding and all that jazz, but for the base of a this is going to be the base of a press brake. Yep, I want to be able to bend even 3/16, maybe even a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch might be pushing it, but I think the 80-ton press would bend a 1/4 inch, like flat bar, maybe if it was only like an inch or so wide. But 3/16, 1/8 inch, maybe 3/4 inch wide. And then of course sheet metal, she'd be able to do. This thing's going to be about 21, 22 inches wide, because that's the maximum width I got between the towers on the press. And this is going to be the base. So what we're going to do is take this piece of angle. I'll show you this in a sec. We're going to cut 2 sections to fit this base. We're going to weld the angle right here, weld the other angle right here, leaving a 90-degree V in the middle. We'll take this piece of angle, make the punch piece that comes down from the top to and the piece of pipe right there we'll have up here a couple set screws or something, and that'll attach to the ram. This is a piece to set in here to stiffen that up, make it super strong. It's the only thing I could find in 1/2 inch or thicker that had any length to it this morning. It's a little crooked. I'll decide whether to straighten it up. It would be simply aesthetics if I bother to. So this piece here, I was looking for 2x2 by 1/4 inch angle. This is what I could find. It's got another, in the scrap yard, had another piece of like 1/8 inch welded to one side. On this side it's completely welded, and on this side it's welded in 4 or 5 segments. Then somebody has plasma cut the balance of this off. Well, to get this to sit flat on this base, I'm going to have to come in and cut this down. I looked and looked and looked for one I didn't have to cut on. Didn't find one. So I'm just cheap. I'm not going to go buy new. I'm going to make this work. So this will get cut into two. Clean up this end. I'm going to have to come through here and clean this off enough to be able to weld this flat to here. If I can't weld it flat, I'm not going to get a true 90-degree bend now, am I? So that's the task. Let me start getting all this stuff cut, get this thing cleaned up. I got hours worth of work here, and I don't really tend to work very hard on it, but it would be nice to get this thing done and usable today. It'd be something really fun to have. Then when you want to build that bracket and you come look at your scrap pieces of metal and you want to put a bend on it real quick, you don't have to shove it in the vise and beat on it with a hammer. You can take it over to your press brake and bend a nice straight 90. Okay, let me get this party started. I'll bring it back in a bit. Here's what we got done. We got this thing sliced off. That took a lot of cutting. That took a minute and about 2.5 death wheels to cut all these off. Got a few of them. Anyway, that's done. That leaves me 2/4 inch thick pieces of 2x2 angle with another 1/8 inch fully welded on top of that. So these are pretty strong. So as you know, when you're looking around a metal scrap yard for stuff, you know, sometimes things just appear and you go, well, maybe that's better than what I was going to get. Because anyway, so here's another piece. We'll use this for a spacer because this is what's going to be driven down. And then we'll weld these pieces. Now we don't want to weld in the middle because that won't leave room for what we're bending. So we'll just tack them on the ends, weld them down the sides, and that'll be good. We might take this piece of channel iron when we're said and done, flip it over, put a support across the middle or something right there where all the force is applied, or cut a piece of that pipe or something so we have something to support it. And then this piece of 1/2 inch plate, we'll weld into the center of that. We might V it out just a little bit on the bottom. And then cut a piece of this pipe's fit over so that drives it down. So that's where we're headed. Let me get this tacked, get this welded. That'll sort of finish up this base, and then we'll move on to the ram piece, right? All right, checking back with you. Here's progress. What did we leave off on? So anyway, we got this center piece. I did not want to take time to try to square that up. It's a piece of steel. That's the way I bought it. I tried to kind of V out the bottom a little bit. I didn't grind on it forever, but we ground it a little bit. We got that welded in. Got this piece of pipe. This just fits over top of the pipe that comes down from the jack portion of the press. Drilled a couple 1/4-20s, you know, drilled number 7-bit hole in the steel, couple places, threaded them, put a couple 1/4 inch bolts in there. I use 1/4-20s because 20 threads per inch versus like a 5/16, which I think 16 threads per inch. Anyway, one more thread. Doesn't need to be much to hold that up and to, you know, let the springs pick that center piece up when you're retracting it. So I think we got this all square. So kind of the last thing we got to do is weld this. I'm going to weld it pretty good. Been running my welder wide open too. Boy, is all the juice she's got. I got a 155 Lincoln. I don't have the wire speed maxed out, but heat wise, yeah, we got her all the way up welding that thick heavy metal. It's doing fine. So let me get this welded, both sides, real good, and that's going to finish this up. We'll give it a test on some flat bar here, some piece of scrap or something, and then I'll clean it up just a little bit more and paint it so it don't rust or nothing. But it's come along just fine. You know, just a little project, little stop at the scrapyard in the morning. This was about $33 worth of steel. The only thing that is scrap is this, the rest of that piece of pipe. Probably got a foot left over. Everything else, used it all. So pretty much every dime I spent on scrap metal this morning went in to build the project. So let's get to welding. We'll bring you back. We got it all done. Guys, we got it set up in the press. I haven't painted it yet, but I did clean it up a bit. I've had some, I think it's 3/4 inch flat bar. So I stuck it in here to brace this here. I kind of just stitched welded it in. Sorry, I'm in the light. I think that'll give that thing some longevity, especially bending, thicker iron. So let me sit you back as far as I can. We're a little cramped for space here today. And we're just going to bend up just a test piece and see how she works. Again, sorry for being crowded, but it is what it is. I got this is probably a 10 gauge, like a Simpson tie kind of bracket that was sitting around. If I put that in there like so, maybe I can bend it. Something like that. Okay. It's kind of dragging there. It may not be perfect, but it'll work for testing purposes. As long as I got enough throw in the jack. That's the other thing up there. Get it centered or get it to where it'll bend all the way without running out of jack. The adjustments on the stand itself are 4 or 5 inches on center, so it is what it is. I guess that thing got to be pretty centered, but I guess it's pretty centered. Here we go. Oh, nuts, I ran out of jack before I ran out of... Hang on, gonna make an adjustment. Dang it. Alright, I adjusted the lead screw on the top of the jack down a little bit. Repositioned it. We'll finish it up. That's a snug up periscope. And there we have it. Looks like just a little over bent, which means that's kind of good because I could just not put quite the pressure on it and get a true 90. So there we go. It works, it works, it works. I just cleaned up a little bit, throw some paint on it so she don't rust, and call it a tool. Right on. She ain't the prettiest thing in the world, but it's very functional. That's all it's intended to be. So I'm very happy with it. About 33 bucks worth of scrap metal from our local salvage yard this morning, and we now have a press brake. It was effortless. I didn't even need the jack handle probably until the last few pumps, and so she should do 1/4 inch, 3/8, something like that. No problem. Guys, thanks for watching, comment, and subscribe, and thumbs up on the way out the door if you wouldn't mind, please. Catch you guys on the next video. You know what? I was just going to leave you after bending this little flimsy piece of strap because I'm too cheap to bend up a good piece of metal. But let's do one. This is a plate. It's probably 11 inches by 11 inches, and it's 1/8 inch. Okay, it actually says so right on it. It's actually a form when you build a steel building, when they pour the concrete forms and bolts and stuff to bolt the columns in. This is a column form, and I grabbed a bunch of them from the job I'm working on. So decided to give this thing a real challenge. Let's see if it will bend a 1 foot piece of 1/8 inch. Okay. We gotta know, you guys want to see it. Like butter. I'm going to hold it right there and not go crazy because it might overbend just a little bit. Easier to put bend back in than take bend out. It's pretty good. I need to have like a checker on here. It's a little open. Okay. Let's make sure it'll go 90. Putting it back. All right, let's go for a couple more degrees there. Alright. I've not bled the air out of this yet either, so it's all new. That's a little closer. Hey, I'm going to show you. Can you see that? I'm just squaring it up against the top of that. I think it's pretty darn square. Alright, it's not super tight. It's not a super tight bend, but that's what we've got. Probably work for projects that I'm working on. So there it is, without effort, a 1 foot piece, 1/8 inch steel. We got it, Toyota. All right, little better demo. All right, guys, I'm out. Catch you next time.